Hey, good evening, guys. It's Jason here, one of the pro traders at TrueTrader.net. Former market maker, been around the business since the early 90s. Everybody knows me as a goose in our chat room. Just bringing you the midweek watch, trying to give you some of my ideas and perspectives every week. Hopefully you guys are tuning in and liking what we're putting out. Every week I do the same thing, and I ask you guys to hit that like button, leave comments, let me know what you think. And also subscribe. We're leaving a lot of content. There's a couple announcements that I want to make as well. First of all, early on in my career, I just want to get into this real quick. Somebody taught me so early, and it's helped me. It's been one of the biggest things that's impacted me. They said, be coachable in this business. Be coachable. Well, listen, we are providing so much content out there, guys, between myself, Ricky with his Sunday prep, Ricky with his every other Thursday, he's doing the thing with Kim and Curtin, method and mindset. I mean, there's so much free content that we're providing over at TrueTrader.net from Ricky, myself. It's incredible. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Ricky, keep up the great work with the Sunday prep. It's been amazing. There's so many tidbits in every session that you do. I'm just absolutely loving it. If you guys are liking, so make sure you subscribe. The other reason to subscribe, and I'm going to kind of give you guys a couple week warning on this, is I might be changing up the way I'm doing this. I might actually start taking my midweek prep, and I'll make an announcement at the end of this as well, just to make sure somebody doesn't miss it, to Thursday morning live, YouTube lives I might be doing. And that would be at 8:30 on Thursday. It's not going to be this week, obviously, or the next week. I think I'm going to give it a couple weeks to get the news out there that from doing the Wednesday night and the way we're doing it. I might be doing a Thursday morning before the market, like at 8:30 in the morning. Give some folks, be able to see what the market's doing at the early on as well. Might help out a little bit for some of the ideas early on in the morning. So with that being said, let me just get back into the most important thing, which is our disclaimer. How you like that? So TrueTrader nor its representatives are not registered as a security broker dealer or investment advisor with the SEC or any state regulatory authorities. We are not licensed nor qualified to provide investment advice. Guys, I am not a licensed broker. I'm not here to give you financial advice. This is 100% for entertainment purposes only, always, okay? So with that all being said, let's dive right into this, and hopefully you guys like what I got. I got quite a few names to go through, so I'm going to kind of go through them fast, just giving you the names, the levels, a couple tidbits that I'm looking at on each one, and move on to the next. So let's see what we got here. First, let's talk about the markets here. Let's take a look at the SPY. I mean, the market's have been on steroids since its hell. We talked about it holding this level. It's held this level, and I've told you guys, like, when this was all happening, everybody's like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna have this big crash? What's happening?" No, this is a normal pullback. Look at, we already made highs, and we're continuing on every day. Market was up 100 points. Nasdaq was up 1% or so today. I think we need, healthy little pullbacks. As you can see, the 20-day has curled up. I talked about the curl here a couple weeks ago. You now see it's passed through the 20-day. The short-term trend has passed through the 50-day, which is a little bit longer term there on the moving averages. And we're back to, kind of what we were going through here. Now what we'd like to see is start seeing these little pullbacks into a 20-day or into a 50-day and just kind of see some, the trend just kind of continue there. So right now the markets look, like they're on steroids. They need a little bit of a breather. We'll see if that happens over the next couple days, but I'm not betting on it. I won't bet anything on the markets right now with the way things are acting. When you see a couple names, miss earnings and their still market is just keep plugging along, I'm not sure what, we're not here to guess the markets, right? So that all being said, I don't need to pull up the Qs. The Qs look, exactly the same as a SPY with this big push that it's had. So let's just dive into the ideas. So the first idea that I'm going to put in is APPS, Apple Paul Sam. Okay, and I wrote down a long off 72.10 and 71.20. Okay, 72.10. You're going to see there's a couple things at 72.10. You have a monthly day, the 50-day, and a previous day's low here. Let me zoom it in for you guys. Okay, this is APPS. And you can see that right here, monthly pivot. You got a 50-day, and then you have the previous day's low. And then I wrote down right below that 71.20 area. It closed pretty weak today. This is a stock that has $5 range. I'm going to say ahead of time, this may be too close, but I have to have these levels in there to see if it holds when I see the 50-day and 200-day together and it's coming into it. It might go down and test the 6-month moving average. I don't know. But I want to watch this tomorrow to see what it does here at this level. I think this is oversold, my personal opinion, and I think it's going to have a really, really nice bounce. This has been a really strong stock, so we'll see how things play out. Okay, that's APPS. Let's move on to NTR. And what I wrote down on NTR is I wrote down a long off 67.10, okay? And you can see it's held this the last couple days. Again, another strong stock. It's done a nice little pullback. Hasn't quite gotten to the 50-day, but it's held the same level 2 days in a row, 67.10. They raised their 2021 guidance, which is nice. Numbers look good to me. I buy any of this weakness all the time off these little levels here, and let's see if it continues to hold and makes another leg up. So NTR off 67.10 for a long. Next one is a short that I'm looking at, and I'm looking at SONO. All right, I know this stock is making higher lows on the daily here. You can see higher low, but it is pushing into, in my opinion, some pretty good resistance areas. It's been struggling every time it pushes into that 35. I've been watching it the last couple days. I actually have a disclosure. I have a swing short on the name right now going on. But what I want to note down for you guys is if it pushes into this 35.90 area, which is let me zoom it in, you could see the 200-day and a monthly pivot. You could also see this prior, I always talk about prior support equals new resistance, right? There's a prior support area pushing right into it. That would be a new resistance area. I think this could be a really nice fade. I like this fade idea, 35.90 for a possible fade on SONO. All right, next name, Qualcomm, reported after the close. Let's see, it's trading up in the 148 area right now. I wrote down a long off 141.50. There's a lot that could always change as numbers and stuff come out in the next morning. But what I want to look at this is the notes that I wrote down was a long off 141.50. You can see it's between this month's pivot and the prior month's pivot right here. And it's also a nice retrace from the move that it's making right now on the big gap. Nice numbers. Conference calls already happened. I think this could be a nice trade anywhere on a nice pullback or retrace tomorrow. So I'll draw a fib in the morning and see where that lines up compared to those pivots. But right in here, this pocket looks really nice on Qualcomm. So long off 141.50. Next one is going to be on Fastly, FSLY. What I wrote down on Fastly was 53.30. Okay, this is another one that's gapping up nicely. And 53.30, there's a couple things to show you on this. That's a G2C. That's a gap to close, which is right at the prior close here. You also have the previous day's high here, which is today's high. And I think there's plenty of room up above for it to push. I know it pre-market or post-market here, it's already at 57, pretty close to this 200-day. But I think it's going to end up pushing back up on there intraday. So if I get a quick dip in the morning, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I might end up drawing a fib early on at 57 to 53 and take it off 55 area or so, which is right off this other monthly. But for now, I'm looking off the previous day's close. You could also see, if I have my cursor here, you could also see it's clearing a nice level, right? I don't need to draw a horizontal line here. Look at this level right here and look at right over here as well, okay? So let's watch for FSLY. Potential long off 53.30 is what I'll be watching, all right? Next one is Upwork, UPWK. And I'm looking for a long off 48.30, okay? That's a previous day's low and the 200-day, 48.30. So the previous day's low, you can see, if I'm zooming in a little bit here, you can see it's been making higher lows on the daily. This is actually from a few days ago. You can see the trend line here. I drew a trend line, I held the trend line there, and it's been making higher low, higher low, higher low, and I'm looking for a clear of this 49.50 area for a next leg up, okay? And that's on Upwork, 48.30. It looks pretty good to me. We'll see what happens. Nice candles. I kind of like this one quite a bit. So let's see if it goes and tests that low off 48.30, which is the previous day's low, and the 200-day, which is this tan line here. Next one, CLF. Not as big as range, but I like the chart a lot on this thing. CLF, what I wrote down is long off 22.25, 22 and a quarter. Okay, and I wrote down the prior low and a 50-day. So you could see again, prior low, 50-day. Look at this nice retracement. You could visualize it if you draw a fib here. You see this big move up, retraces about half the move, and it's just right at the 50-day here, prior low, next leg up, CLF. So I like this one. CLF looks really good as well. All right, a little bit more expensive stock, CRWD, CrowdStrike. And again, this is, you guys know that I play a lot of prior lows and 50 days and things that when I see them hold a level. This is one of them. So again, this name has huge range, has $9, $10 range, just so you guys know on this name. But CRWD 265.70 is the level I wrote down, which is right at just what I just said. The previous day's low, the 50-day, you could see the last 3 days, the 50 days been closing above it. I like seeing that, so it tested it second day, closed above it both these days, and then the third day had a nice close here on today's close. So let's see if it goes down one more time tomorrow, see what the market wants to do, and go from there. But I'm looking at a long off 265.70. Next name I'm looking at is MS, Morgan Stanley. Why not, right? So MS was another one. I wrote down 101.80. I don't need to tell you much after the last couple conversations I had, but look at this right here. Previous day's low. Again, it's a stock that's been trending real nice. And you can say, well, why throw this name up here out of all the names? So some of these names I get from one of the systems that I use, to pull out names. And it shows, it's a different list I get. So if you wonder where I get some of these strange names from that are not normal or not on your scans, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from a scan that I do. Anyway, the 101.80 area, nice trend that you have. 50-day right here. It's been holding, as you can see, holding the 50-day up here. Had a nice pullback. Previous day's low, 50-day. And this has decent range, has a $2 range. I mean, if it goes and tests this level here, and it goes and tests, doesn't even make the whole move of yesterday. That could be a 2 or 3 point trade right there. So pretty sweet. We'll see how it trades. Next one, I got two more here for you guys. EXPI is one of them. All right, so EXPI, what I'm looking for is a long off 44.25. That's 44.25. And you can see right here sitting there, I wrote down 200-day prior monthly pivot. You can see right here as well. This is a prior monthly pivot. This dotted blue line. You can see the 200 days there. And the notes that I wrote down on this were the numbers seemed okay and a nice retrace. So again, if I drew a fib here, nice retrace, pull back right to the 200-day. Got a monthly pivot from the month before. It's just a brand new month, so that to me still is in effect. It's still important for me to see that. And the numbers, I did take a glance at the numbers. The numbers seem pretty okay for me. So where this happens, don't, when numbers come out and you guys look at the numbers and you see good guidance, good numbers, and the stock's coming in, don't make any assumptions. Sometimes it could be one institution that's bailing on a huge position, rotating into a new sector. We don't know the answers to that, but that's opportunity for us, okay? So don't always try to, scratch your head and think you're missing something. Sometimes you're not missing anything, and you look back a week later and the stock's not making new highs, and it was just getting one seller out of the way. So I look for these as opportunities. That's EXPI, long off 44.25. Last one I want to show you guys is Western Digital, WDC. And this is one I'm looking for a short, 57.70, okay? 57.70 is this monthly pivot, and this 50-day area, you can see that already trying to get through this area. They missed on their guidance, guys, on this one. They lowered their guidance. I think their numbers were okay if I remember correctly, but really poor guidance on this. So this is just a bounce going right back in the consolidation area. You got a 50-day here, had a decent day today. I hope one more green day would be great. Push right into this 50-day tomorrow. And man, that would be a nice short in my opinion. 57.70 is what I wrote down for the short on Western Digital. Okay, so that's it on the ideas, guys. Just again, a couple quick reminders. Please give us a thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are commenting. Let me know what's going on. We all appreciate it. Again, great job, Ricky, always kicking butt on the Sunday prep. And just, if you guys missed it at the beginning, what I'm going to be doing is not this Thursday or probably even next week, but the following Thursday. I'll give you guys a firm date by next week. I'm going to start doing these midweek preps in the morning at 8:30 in the morning on Thursday. So you guys could schedule it so you don't miss it. It'll be a YouTube live. You guys could tune in. You'll be able to ask questions if it makes sense, and then we're not going ahead way too far on time-wise. I think it'll be interesting to try a little bit different structure and see if it makes sense and helps you guys out a little bit more. All right, so with that all being said, and when I say helps out being more, knowing what the market's doing that morning gives me a little bit more idea on some of these ideas. Sometimes I'll walk in and give you guys, a whole bunch of ideas. The market all of a sudden gapping down 300 or up 300, and a lot of them are, out of the way. I mean, there's no trade in them, so it makes it challenging sometimes. So maybe waking up, seeing what the markets are doing will help out a little bit. All right, hope you guys like that idea. In the meantime, come check us out over at TrueTrader.net, please. I think you'll be really impressed with the group. We got a great group over there, and in the meantime, we will talk to you next week. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.